Hey YouTube, I'm live again. It's Leah Lauder, favorite mega church cult survivor. Very tired, but on here like a trooper. I think it's really thank you 34. Thank you so much. They're just calling me pretty and I feel like an absolute mess to be honest. Hey Queen Licia. It's guys, if I could describe how I feel, it's not even tiredness, it's actual fatigue. Below one more kiss so I can blush. Oh, mwah. Thank you. Thank you for saying I look nice. I don't know, I got mixed feelings that I don't know why I let things get to me. It's like, I don't know why I let things get to me because I just got a big heart chair. That's all it is. Let me tell you what happened. Okay, just quickly, I'm near Lord of Mega Church cult survivor. Spent 18 years in what I thought was a church. Turned out to be a cult. Now, I was on my FYP minding my own business and I got some really good news. So I saw this young, strapping young lad, very handsome, playing. I thought it was a bass. I thought he was playing a bass, but it could have been a keyboard. I don't even, not keyboard. Oh, you lot, I'm tired, man. So anyway, long story short, you could request songs. So you know me, I love music. I was a worship leader for 18 years. So I started requesting songs and it was just, hi, Paris. It was just a nice vibe. Some of the trolls came on, cut out or whatever. They're so young. I was like, babes, it's nice vibes. And then everyone was like, yeah, positive vibes. Da, da, da. So then after he asked me for more song choices, and he didn't judge me, he knew who I was. And then anyway, long story short, he attends one of the church cults that I'm talking about, which I knew because he was very strict with the song choices that I was, that people were recommended. It was strictly gospel. Now, my thing is, this is a young man that's perfecting his craft, right? In his bass, his whatever, electric, what's it called? What's wrong with me, man? Anyway, so the song I suggested, the reason I suggested that song for him is because if you can learn that bass in that song, yeah, electric. I think it was a bass because the bass, but when I said he's a bassist, he was confused. So I don't know. Because we had a bassist, we had a drummer, we had someone on the keys. That was our main, like those were the instrumentalists. Do you get me? And then we started having backing tracks. And sometimes there was two guys on the keys. Usually there was two guys on the keys. And sometimes we would have percussion every so often, but we don't. Oh, thanks, Paris, but we didn't have. Who's requesting? Oh, please don't let it be a random. Oh, what do you want to say? So afterwards, he just confirmed that he's been visiting or he's going or whatever. And I was just so disappointed because he's such a talented guy. Do you know what I mean? He could be doing so much with that talent, but now he's just going to limit himself to work to gospel. It's just sad. I just feel for him because he's so young, and it's like. And guys, when I was on the live, I was so happy. I was just worshiping God, like requesting the gospel tunes. There was some random girl. She's got a scripture in her profile. So I'm the witch, I'm the devil, I'm all the above. This so-called girl, she's got a scripture in her bio, comes in and says to him she wants lessons to learn how to play the instrument. I've got the screenshots, but I don't want to bait him up. I've got the screenshots for if anyone wants to try me, because babe, I was on there worshiping my God, requesting all the tunes. I've got the screenshots, but what I also have got is the thirsty gal them from these settings that want to come on and have some chat for me, because they're in there asking for private lessons because they want to blow out that guy's back. And so do you see what I'm saying? That guy stands a better chance being, if he was locked away with me for 3 days, let's say I was even his age, because out of the whole of United Denominations, there's 6,000 churches in Africa alone. There's over 3,000 churches in the UK and Europe, and not one man can say that he's blown out my back. There's not many gal them that can say that look like me anyway. You know them ones. Let's not take it there, babes. It wasn't like the man them was trying to meet him, but my boyfriend got unalived in police custody. So I'm not a 304. I can't just turn off love. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was grieving. And I love it that, the men in there have very feminine energy. Anyway, let me get on to the point. That it was just a bit disappointing. Do you know what I mean? But I said, oh, look at the irony. This girl's come in wanting to have some private lessons with my man, you know. And then they're here calling me a Jezebel, this, that, and this is what I'm saying. They don't realize that these gal them are in the four walls, share. They're in the four walls, baby. They've been out in the clubs. They've been, do you know what I mean? Chewed up and spewed out, babes. Like, this is like their last resort. That's the vibes. It's not like when I came, I was going through trauma because my boyfriend got unalive, but I gave up my pop career because I was on the X Factor in 2007. I was in Simon Cowell's group. It's called Hope in 2005. Got to the final 5. They told me worldly singing was EVIL and I had to use my gift for the Lord. And I loved God. I loved God even before I came in there because they'll make you feel like you never knew God, even though God's the one that's kept you from your. But listen, yeah. The greater the trauma, the more you've gone through, the more stuff you've gone through, especially as a child, that has shown like God's hand upon your life if you still believe in God, because there was no pastor, there was no church, there was no nothing. It was just you and God. Especially if there's situations like your mum was, you know, dependent on certain things and you've come out okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. They love to talk about gal them that comes from single parent. Babes, I didn't have my dad. So seeing God as the father, that was my lifeline. God became a real father to me. And I studied them scriptures about God being a father so that I could internalize that. And that's most likely what saved me, because I had a personal relationship with God before. But because they package Jesus and they package all of that like it's religion, so they make you feel like what you had before, whatever you had before. No, it doesn't matter. No, you don't read your Bible like that. Like I said to them, I would just let the pages like blow, like put the Bible near the window and let the pages blow, and then whatever page it fell on, I would read it. Oh no, you have to have Bible study. You have to have a topic. There's different types of Bible study. Then they bring in the cult leader's book, Quiet Time. When I tell you, man, oh babe, I started in a Catholic church. Babe, the Catholic church has got issues of its own, my love. I loved my priest. He was absolutely beautiful. I supported him till the end. I was crying when I saw his thing go. But babe, he was LGBTQ plus. Do you know what I mean? Him and another one were really in love. We all knew it. Because they used to have wine. I was in, because remember, I'm from West, innit? So you know, like when you're from the hood, yeah, if you got a parent that's really involved, got their head screwed on, they'll try and do the best they can for you with it. Because with every hood, there's like an uptown. So even in South, you can, do you know what I mean? You can get to like Pimlico. If the parent's really on it and she tries to do her best for the child, your parent will be trying to get you into the top school of wherever you are in the hood. Because I was from Grove, which is the hood, the downtown, the hood of Notting Hill, but it's like on the border of Northwest. My mum got me into the best school. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why was I saying all of this? To say what? What was I talking about, man? Oh, yeah, the Catholic Church. So I went to a very good church in Westminster, all right? And I'll never forget when the he was drinking white with the other. Listen, please, I'm not the one, babes. I grew up in Catholic church. They had a youth club. My stepdad created that youth club. He used to do the carnival. He used to do the float, babe, for the church. Are you having a laugh? I've got pictures of me in carnival costume dressed as an angel. I've been Mary, babes. I've been Mary on Songs of Praise. How about that? Oh, God. I just remember. No, let me call my mum because people ain't going to believe me. Yeah. I got to ask my mum. Babes, I've been Mary. I've been Mary, sweetie, on Songs of Praise. I've been on Songs of Praise a good couple of times. Don't play with me. I went to Sacred Heart High School, babe, in Hammersmith. That's where I went, love. My mum got Tony Blair's daughter, Catherine Blair. Go and Google up Catherine Blair and see if she didn't go to Sacred Heart High School in Hammersmith. Don't play with me, babe. I'm not the one. Mum, I've got you on live, on loudspeaker, because people are trying to play with me and tell me to go to the Catholic Church like I weren't grew and raised up in there. So I just wanted you to just tell everyone that what I was doing up on Songs of Praise when I was a child. I'm sure I was Mary. Everyone can hear you, mother. Do you want to tell them all, mum? Do you want to tell them what year was that, chair, when they came to the Westminster Church in the cut and filmed me, chair? When was that?
I'm trying to think of the year of that.
Yeah, we need to think because
it was quite a while back. So I think it was about 11.
All right, so I was about 11. That's mum. Can you try and find it, please? Because I need to put it up.
Yeah, I will try.
All right, love you.
Love you too, darling.
Bye. You see, they all talk lies. You see how posh my mum sounds. Don't ever get it twisted, babes. People have got misconceptions and preconceptions about people from the hood. That's why I'm proud to be from there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So anyway, I was on Songs of Praise, babe. I was 11, doing Up Mary, singing on there. Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I can hear you calling in the night. It is I, Lord. I will go, Lord. I will keep your word in my heart. Don't play with me, babe. Where are you going with that? We had an organist. My mum swept them church floors to get me into that school. Don't. Are you having a laugh? My brother was an altar boy. Don't even go there, chair. My mum's intelligent. She did what she had to do, chair, to get us into the best school in West London. Are you having a laugh? I can't even tell you why my brother got kicked out, but we both got kicked out. But my mum tried. She tried, man. She did her best. All right. Sorry, guys. It's just that comment triggered me. Like, what are you going to teach me, babe? I know, babes. I know about all the rosary and all that. Are you having a laugh? Oh, and you're such a queen. I love you. All right. So I've spoken about the Mog as the narcissist. The one thing that I'm going to say, which if you could know anything about the Mog, the PASTOR as the narcissist, what you need to understand is that they've got grandiose ideologies of self, and that feeds into the paranoia. I described them and likened them to the level of like a politician or a king in their mind. In their mind, they've always had like fanatical, grandiose ideologies about themselves. It's almost like a form of like escapism, because they don't want to see the truth. They're actually afraid of their own reflection. Very insecure. And if we've got time, if I don't feel too tired, we'll go into like the origins of narcissism from like Greek mythology. We'll dip our toes into it a little bit, but I do plan on doing like content tomorrow, going over some of the themes of the life to just package into like a little short cult psychoed piece. All right. Because of that, they have a fantasy, very entitled, but they need a supply. They need people to feed into the grandiosity. Yeah. So how they do that is being the role of the Mog, and then they're indoctrinating the members, and then they are a form of supply. And then there's different levels, and that's why I think it's like a pyramid scheme, and it's like, you know, based off favorites and positions and titles, because it will depend on the level of supply, because there'll be like high grade supply, like if the person's willing to be like an earthen, but that will be like an armor bearer, or it might be the, you know, like the ones closest. Oh, you saw. Oh, sorry. There's someone on YouTube saying that they've seen the Model Marriage book by Dag Heward-Mills. Yeah, he's got diagrams of, you know, like things that we should do with our spouse in there. Anyway, guys. So what happens is they're in a spiritual, like a psychotic state. Yeah. And so what happens is they wrap people in their bubble of psychosis. So that's why they present as like they're like spiritually psychotic. You can't speak to them. There's so many different tactics that they put in there, but the most important thing that you need to understand is that as much as the narcissist needs the supply, because he's charging their energy like a battery, all right? Because everyone in there is tired. But do you notice that the pastor's always got a lot of energy? Did anyone's cult have these camps where you would go away for 3 days, or they're going away? Yeah, I'll get into it. Go away for 3 days, or conferences or things like that. And the Mog will have so much energy. Oh, okay. All right. So I'll call you 25, because I don't know if you're on the burner or. So yeah, so 25. Remember the camps? The Mog would have so much energy. I'll tell you why though. When you've been behind the scenes, the Mogs, you see like how we're there 24 hours. They're not like that. Behind the scenes, they got like catering. They set it all up for them. It's like a banquet. It's like a banquet that they do up for him. So he gets breakfast, he gets lunch, he gets dinner. Remember, he comes walking in. By the time he comes walking in, stayed up for 2 days straight. Yeah. because I've been speaking to CARA survivors. Quite a lot of CARA survivors have been coming forward behind the scenes. So I've been catching up with them, and it's exactly like First Love, yeah. Because you know what this survivor said to me, and a few of them said it. They're like, you get like a little half an hour break. We don't. They're lucky. We don't even get half an hour. We get 20 minutes. Yeah, Bolly, that's what we do up, girl. We don't play games in here. So she said that by the time you go to get the food, it's like the break's over. You don't even get. Oh yeah, thanks, Queen. You don't even get like time to eat. Yeah, Lulu, go for it. Yeah, Ines is here, Lulu, and Lucia. That's a good team. So before I go into, like, I'll go into the questions after, because I do have to get this out, because a lot of us have been through so much, and you know, I want us to start looking at, you know, like breaking free from this type of ABUSE. All right. So because of that, guys, because of the supply, as much as they have to get the supply from us, because we feed into the grandiose ideologies, if there's no one there, then that's why Toby's, you know, Pastor Toby from SPAC, that's why he's putting on them fake conferences, doing all of these marches. He did that running thing. More than half of the people there, when they were interviewing, they couldn't even ask them about God. They were there for the running. It's what they can get. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're having to do like grandiose things to like keep them relevant, because it's a form of supply. It's crazy. So then we start to become like addicted to the validation that they give us. So do you see, it's just like a really toxic exchange of energy. That's why people are feeling so drained in there, because they're getting like this, they're doing like the push and pull effect. Everyone's like trying really hard to fit in and, you know, do these targets. And do you know who suffers the most? Students, university students. That's why I say, when you're coming on, yeah, whether you're on the FYP, babes, you're calling me jobless, but I've got a first-class degree in youth and community work, backed up with over 20 years of experience. What I'm doing now, I can put on my CV. 20 years of experience working in a plethora of settings. I'm 38 years old. I have a master's in social work with a distinction. And I have specialisms in that area. I've also got qualifications. I did my BTEC National Diploma in Performing Arts. I can go and do theatre, Broadway. I could do whatever I want, babe. Do you know what I mean? So you're calling me jobless, but I'm more employable than you and most likely most of your members of family. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, whilst you're here doing like that, you don't even know if you're going to graduate. Do you know how many young people aren't even going to, they were supposed to, you know, they're graduating like in the next 2 weeks. There are people in these cults. Let's talk about that. That's what I'm going to be talking about in the next week. Like, when you're coming on here, baby, are you graduating? And what are you graduating with? Are you graduating with the first class that you know you were more than capable? You could have done that with your eyes closed. All you had to do was buckle down and give it a bit of time. But instead of you focusing on your books, being in there, revising, doing all nights, because they can't do all nights in the settings and then do all nights in the uni. It's impossible. There's only 24 hours in a day. They've got to go to all their lectures, but they miss a lot of those because they've got to do like recruitment, or they've got some sort of camp on, especially when they're doing things like prayer and fasting. And another thing that they would miss things for was like following the cult leader around. Mods, are we guys, are you here? Because there's one here really having a lot of chat. So when the cult leader will travel, because he's got cults all around the world. So he'll be in like Botswana, then he'll be in Dallas, then he'll be, and there are literally people who will be traveling to go to these so that they can try and meet Prophet. Because if someone comes like all the way from the UK and he's randomly in like Dallas or whatever, they'll go all the way, because people are thirsty, they're infatuated, they're obsessed, and they encourage that kind of behavior. So people are missing like exams, they're not achieving, that they're handing in like work that they could have really spent time on. Hey, Queen Charles, work that they could have really spent time on and got a really good grade. They're not even learning in there. They're just putting things like anywhere. And you know what? Quite a lot of these kids, yeah, they're actually really intelligent. So if they don't try, they'll still pass, but they wouldn't get what they need. And it just makes things a lot harder for them, because they just become like switched off in every other area. So then when they start doing like the job, they're not doing it because they're passionate. They're doing it because It's like they just want to get paid. Oh, so mad, man. You see, when you're in there, and you know, I saw this girl, she done this post. I need to stitch it actually. And she was like, oh, what she'd do to get that feeling of what it's like to be like when you first become born again. And it's like an adrenaline. It's like a drug that you've tried for the first time. Like Soft Life was talking about this, and it's like them. They keep going. They keep doing it over and over again, expecting to get that same kick, expecting to get that same, you know what. And then it's like after a while, when all the things that they're promising, because remember, they're doing up these prophecies every like 3-4 times a week. Yeah, they throw it into thin air. May you be prosperous. May the Lord bless you. It's like all the time. It's just all the time. It's constant. So when things are not getting better, when you're not, because you're doing the same thing over and over again, because you're working for someone else to build their empire. The only one who's benefiting is the mog at the top. It's a pyramid scheme. No one else is benefiting. When it comes to us doing something for them, it's tangible, it's physical, it's monetary, it's this, it's that. When it comes to them doing something for us, it's intangible, it's in heaven, it's in the afterlife. It's all, they are literally selling invisible blessings. That's what they're doing, guys. I suffered in my A-levels because of the cult, but did well in my degree outside of it. Fantastic. And guys, do you know what? It's so time intensive. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Babe, when I tell you, yeah, I would have failed my degree. It was because I was so-called backslidden. I was with a guy, a hood clean guy, jail from Northwest, living in his yard. That's the truth. And if it wasn't for being in that situation, it was like God just got me up, like go to the uni. Because I went to UBL. It was 24 hours. Saved my life. Someone else says my friends are suffering in uni now because of First Love and Caris. Oh my God. Thanks for the skin compliment. I appreciate it. I think it's because I've been eating more. I've put on a bit of weight. You don't probably forget what weight, but trust me. That's the thing. Caris and First Love are the worst. If you go Caris and First Love, you won't really get what your potential in uni. If you do, you're highly intelligent. And if they get a first, they scraped it. It was like 1 mark, 2 marks, 4 marks. It was not like, do you know what I mean? Because there's so much pressure. Because all the young people that are going to uni, they're not going for like, but what do you mean? Like survival tips in what way? They're not going to go and do their uni work, and that they are seeing it like God has given them a fertile land, a fertile soil. This is how they indoctrinate them. God has put them in a fertile land. They have to use everything and give everything to God. Even that degree, whatever job you do here on earth, whatever, you can't take none of that to heaven. None of that is considered when you meet God face to face. This is how deep they take it. So you're there to win souls. Then what they do is they create positions, titles, promotions, make you feel like it's an honor. Oh, you went back later to where? Can the mods pin some of these comments, please, if possible? And so it's like all your time in the uni is thinking about souls. When you're in the library, you're thinking about outreach. You're thinking about people in your class. That, oh, you went back. Oh, that's good. Thinking about your class, thinking about people you can evangelize to. You're just thinking, and then sometimes they put people, imagine if you're doing your degree, which is already a lot. It's a new level, higher learning. All these goals and targets you got to meet, etc. And then on top of that, you got to lead a whole like campus, and they'll be putting so much pressure on them to like get this anointing and catch this anointing and be at this conference and follow the man of God. And there's a lot of pressure to build it, for it to be successful, because you've got to give targets. It's in front of everyone. It's a lot of pressure, man. Something's got to give. It's not, you can't do it all. Yeah, I really want my cousins to leave First Love. They're obsessed with Dag. Anyone who's in there will be obsessed with him. Yeah. but the university students are suffering. And you know what? This week I am going to be talking about it. I'm going to be saying when they're in the, like, I'm going to be making content like, what university grades did you get? I got a feeling that God's really going to teach them with these grades, share. I think a lot of people haven't passed. And I think a lot of people are going to get low grades. Because during this time, there's been a lot of pressure. God is not a God to be mocked, and very strategic. Like, if you don't want to bend, you don't want to learn, he'll do what he has to do to teach you, so it will prick you. Leah, my good friend, is trapped in First Love. He's graduated, but he travels miles back to First Love. I'm not going to say which one. Every Sunday, they've taken advantage of his autism and kind nature. He misses his family events to go to church. First of all, I'm so sorry, guys. You know what I'm like. I'm on antidepressants. I'm absolutely baking. 1 minute. I'm so sorry. I don't want to sound insensitive, love, but I've got to get the fan in there. Bloody hell, you lot, the Kent's coming out. He keeps reciting things. They say, like, there's only 52 Sundays in a year, so I have to go. Oh, I forgot that. Dag's very strategic. Oh, man, that's so sad. It's so sad to hear. I need to go back because I completely disassociated. Firstly, I want to say I'm so sorry for, like, you know, because you're also, like, you know, experiencing this grief, because it's someone that you care about, to, you know, come online and speak about it. You do care about your friend. I want to say that, you know, like, in these settings, neurodivergent people are even more, like, they're higher risk. And we've been speaking about this because it's like we take things literally and relative. An example for me, because I know I'm neurodivergent. I know I've got ADHD, definitely, because I can't control my anger. That's why I've had to put this spiritual practice in now to control my anger. But anyway, what did I say? I said I was neurodivergent. Yeah. Dad Gibbardmill's my cult leader. He used to say he doesn't make any money out of the ministry. He doesn't make, everything is like for God. It all goes into the ministry. He doesn't make any money. And he used to say that he had the same pair of trousers and the same shoe. This was like in the 2000s. Are any survivors here that are old school? Are there any OGs? That's what he used to say. So I literally thought that Dag wasn't making no money. Yeah, he was just lying, girl. And then I used to think that like Bishop Richard I wasn't making nothing. Oh my gosh, you lot. It was only when I got married to my ex-husband, I had been in the cult for about, I think, 7 or 8 years, that he turned around and said to me, you know, Bishop Richard's a rich man. I said, what? No, he's not. I was an absolute airhead. And my ex-husband knew that. I had the mentality of a child. I was living in a dream world. I weren't here. You see, when you're in there, yeah, oh my gosh, the women are so vulnerable. And then if they're neurodivergent, oh, I don't know what's going on with my hair. I might as well call myself Stacey today. Do you know what I mean? I've had enough. Do you know what I mean? No, but seriously, guys, like, you lot have to remember, I am disabled out here trying to make it look good. You lot, if you see the pain I've got in my back right now, oh my gosh, I have to have the fan here. I have to have this little mini fan. I don't think I can convince him otherwise. I'm so sorry. You know, I'm disassociating. But that's what I'm saying. You see, like, neurodivergent people, yeah, they're so vulnerable. And as well, what they do is, you know, like, they do a lot of like fake friendships. Like, you know, it's like very intense. Is what I'm saying making sense? Like, very intense. And then I think this would be like, with autism, it's good if you have a routine, isn't it? Like, structure and routine. So I think that also, oh, Lulu's saying yes. Because I'm just describing how it made me feel. Like, thinking I think I'm definitely neurodivergent, chair. Do you know what I'm saying? And it didn't agree with me. But what happens is, it's like, for your, because there's this thirst for acceptance. You get what I'm saying? And then it becomes like a DRUG. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then you've developed like that trauma bond. And then also, I want to bring in borderline personality disorder as well, because a lot of people have undiagnosed mental health, and then it's like the pastor becomes their favorite person and they become absolutely obsessed. And so that usually that person will be very like hyper, like chaotic in nature, will be very like emotionally unstable. Because I was extremely emotionally unstable because I was so dependent on my pastor. I saw him like God. So when, you know, it would come to, oh, Leah, how did you get in the, like, how did you get in the car or whatever? I start talking about my past and I say, yeah, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my past. I wouldn't even cry for my mum like that. I wouldn't even cry for my mum. My mum, the one who went through however many hours of labor, you know, risked her life. My mum signed the document. My mum signed the document that if it came down to it, because she had like really bad preeclampsia with me, if it came down to it, who was gonna make it, me or my mum? And my mum signed the paperwork for me to make it, you know. And the disrespect, the way it's like this is my spiritual mother, this is my spiritual father now. Guys, it's a joke. That's what it is. It's an actual joke. Oh, Instagram. This is Instagram and TikTok. This is the most terrible angle, but all right, so let's get into it. So I want to say that it's going to be like, you know, you've got to factor in those, but I just want to say that my heart goes out to you, bro, because you see when they're in that, yeah, it's GROOMING, and they know when they have a vulnerable adult in there. That's what I don't like about them. They know when it's a vulnerable adult. I'll tell you something as well. Do you know what else they do? Like to young people who are like neurodivergent, they financially exploit us a lot. They financially exploit us a lot. Because I think we're just really generous and trusting and giving and take things that people say at face value. So if we're seeing like something, especially visual, is this resonating with neurodivergent people? Like if you see something visual, you'll like buy into that more. Like, so for example, we used to play these videos of these kids like in like these villages, and then they would have like comorbidities like groves. Oh, guys, it was, you know, like, gosh, like kids, like, you know, there's, oh god, guys, it was, do you know those videos? He has like the promo, like even now I'm getting, there's like all this sensation here because he has the promo ones, but then he has, oh, you're understanding, all right, and then he has the ones that he used to show us like privately. Oh my gosh, everything about that place was traumatic. You'll message me something privately, all right, babe. So I don't really know what to say, babe. You know, it's so hard because they really do exploit people, especially like neurodivergent people. It's so sad. And I've got actually, oh my gosh, I was supposed to message back Amina because she's a neurodivergent. She advocates on her. All right, I need to message her as well. All right. Let me just find the beginning bit, guys. All right. So these are the effects after being in like a cult, you know, experiencing narcissistic abuse. There'll be like trauma bonding. So there's a healing process that you have to go through, a deconstruction process. You know, and that's looking at like boundaries, but also looking at, you know, you have to really unpack that. I'm not going to go through that, guys, but you know, you got to look at childhood trauma. Hey, Miss Kiko, you got to go back in time. You got to look at the root of it, like the trigger, build up their knowledge and have the support ready for them. Yeah, definitely. Please do a video on how they exploit young people, uni students, women, neurodivergent. No, why did it say that to end? Sorry. I'm just taking a picture because I'm doing content tomorrow, so I'll do that. And I will show my friends this. All right. I'll do that for you, my love. Because you know what? I have, it's funny that you're even talking about this because survivors have started coming forward, you know, about the university, and you know a lot of them are quite afraid about what they're going to get as well. Okay, and then another effect on survivors is also shame of fair, divine punishment, identity and confusion. Oh, people are on here. Oh, hey, it's exactly this way. It's weird because a lot of the highly functioning members, the high achieving young individuals in the cult had health conditions. I couldn't help. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for your roses, babe. Individuals in the cult had health conditions I can't help but feel it was brought on by the cults. High pressure environment nonetheless. They're very predatory with their miracle testimonies. Ooh. Very well articulated, X. Thank you. I have a lot of educated people who follow me. It's an honor. Very intelligent people, chair. So yes, you're absolutely right. And it's because like the high achievers, yeah, you got to remember what these mogs are asking for. Yeah, I need to get myself more in a lay down position. I'm weak. What these mogs are asking for, yeah, is like it's the impossible. It's not achievable. It's unrealistic goals. You will like unalive yourself trying to achieve that. But the ones who are the high achievers, especially if you're like naturally competitive, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't, is there a link to like neurodivergence and task oriented things like tasks and stuff? Because I think if I've got tasks, like I'm very kind of, I get fixated on tasks, and I'm also a perfectionist. And I think in these cults, there's that drive for perfection. I don't know if does that come under autism? Because guys, you know what? I haven't looked at it because I know once I start getting into it, I'm hyperfixation. Okay. I know I'm going to get into a rabbit hole, but I know you lot can probably see things in me because I've got a lot of like, guys, I think majority of people who follow me are neurodivergent. I'm not even gonna lie. I know I'm neurodivergent, and I'm proud. I'm proud to wear the crown because, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Remember when I first got, oh yeah, could come under ADHD too. Oh, okay, it's a superpower. Ooh, oh yeah, I get what you're saying, especially for what I'm doing, innit? The hyperfixation on it. That's why I can just go, 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 go. Because my brother said that to me. He was like, oh, I think it's the ADHD or whatever he was saying in me. And I was just like, all right. Do you know what I mean? But we came from an era where they weren't diagnosing things like that. And that's the thing. You see all of the mogs that are my age, they're done out. They're done out. They're done out. They can't even try and come forward and say anything. All of them they got undiagnosed everything. You know, my era, they would listen. They didn't understand mental health. They were just beginning to like understand it and trauma. And so if they've been in these types of institutions, like from a late teen or early 20s, and they've been in there for 10 years, it doesn't matter if it's a healthy environment. They are so disconnected from reality. In school, they used to call me the naughty child. Oh, yeah. That's like me as well. Disruptive. My teacher described me as a prima donna, but that's because I fancied him. He was called Mr. Murphy. You know, looking back, yeah, he was like fresh out of uni. You know, I used to think he was so cool. You know, look at me, look upon man. I'm supposed to be going and doing my English, you know, and I'm there showing off. And my man writes in the report, you know, my report that I'm a prima donna. Can you imagine? Like, just give me a break, babe. Oh, thanks, babe. Thanks, Michaela. I got them thrifting. I'll usually be like, I got them from here there, but these are one of a kind. Yeah, I don't know where they're from, but you know what? They're probably like Shein or something. You probably go and look at them on their jet, but I got them thrifting. All right. Okay, so let's get on to recovery and empowerment. So these things have happened. Like, what do we do next? So, guys, I couldn't believe it when I saw this as the first point. Yeah, because I got this ChatGPT generated this for me. Because sometimes my feelings are all over the place. I'm so weak. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to talk about? But now that ChatGPT's become my best friend, you know, and I'm going to go and have a nice time with ChatGPT. I got a nice you lot, big up Lidl, man. Who loves Lidl? Big up Lidl. I got this little thing from Lidl. That's coming from me later. All right. So the first point, guys, can you imagine, is validating your story. Validating their story. And, you know, I didn't realize that here it says validating your story. It wasn't your fault. So you see, like when we come on here and we talk and we share and other people say that happened to me, like, and you know, like it's like a woman who's sharing like something so that's been trapped in her for years. Like no one believed her, like, you know, like especially victims that get essayed and raped and they come on and other girls just start sharing, like people who have never been on the live before, people who are survivors who've been watching me for months and months, they come on and they show support because that's the kind of heart we got, guys. That's the kind of people that we are. That's why we got caught up in this, because we're good people, man. I know that at some point in your life, people have said to you, you're a good girl. You're a good guy. You've got a good heart. We've all been told that at least once, not the ones who are in there. Maybe a few. Let me not be let me not be biased. But you become so disconnected from self and the heart. That's what they don't realize. I ain't got nothing against them. It's the spirit in them. What's that one like that they use? You know what they use for the LGBT community? It's the same, babe. Do you know what I mean? I don't hate JTEU. It's the programming that's in you. Oh my gosh, I bet they can't believe it. It must feel like they're in an alternate universe because they've been doing this to people for years. And it's like they're the ones with all of the issues. Mad, isn't it? But isn't it always the way? The most judgmental, the one pointing all the fingers. That's why Christ said, he who is without sin cast the first stone. That is, do you know how much wisdom? Do you know if that's all you took from anything that Christ ever said? He who let he who is without sin cast the first stone. If you just use that as your mantra of life, you could get through just that alone. That's what they don't understand. It's got so much power in it, like the vibration. There's people. There was even a survivor on here the other day that was saying, I don't really know where I'm at. I don't know if I'm atheist. I don't know if I'm agnostic. I'm kind of in between. And we're not here to enforce or influence or thing on anyone. If you're an atheist, I'm rocking with you. Like, it's whatever. But her point was there's certain things in there that she sees as truths, like universal truths. And that's what I was saying. Remember, I was saying the conclusion that I've come to at my point now is that because Christ is the truth, the way, and the life, please, if it's not, just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Yeah. Is the truth, the way, and the life. Yeah. Anywhere that you find truth, you'll find Christ in it. And that is what kept my mind. That's what kept me connected to Christ. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me, I don't care. I don't need to, do you get what I'm saying? Like solidify my relationships with you. I don't need to, babe, I dress like this because I was dressed like a nun for 18 years. I'm going to live my life like it's golden. I never had my 20s. I never had I put the end bits of my 30s. I'm going to dress the way our blood clot want to dress. But all you need to know is no man in the whole of the world can say that he's touching me right now or has for 2 years. That's all you need to know. Coochie's fresh and clean and tightly locked. That's all you need to know. Whoever's getting this, trust me, when it's time, jail, they're going to be lucky. All right, baby. Thanks for being here, my love. Thanks for supporting it. So that's the thing. It's the irony. Like that's why you're not supposed to judge. You're not supposed to judge because God's ways are higher than our ways. We can't understand God. You can't put God in a box. God always used the most unassuming people, the people that like man would despise, they don't rate, they don't understand. That's God. Like, how can you be saying you know these things? Like, it's all there, man. It's a truth. You taught me, the mega church taught me Christ came like a carpenter's son. And the other ones were waiting for something spectacular, fireworks, this, that. He came in the foot humble. It's contradictory. So why are you a celeb pastor? Why is everyone waiting after you? Why is everyone running after you? If Jesus was running away from the crowds, why are you running towards the crowd? Why are you telling people there's a waiting ministry? Why are you telling people to wait around like you're some superstar? Why are you doing that? Christ never did that. People followed him because they wanted to follow him. There was no promotion. I'm going to be here at this time, that time. Why do you feel like you need to do that? That is nothing like Christ. And then you want to come and question me and ask me about Christ. Babe, worry about yourself. That's why it says work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You have to work that out on your own, B. Are you having a laugh? You lot should come and sit here, especially Karis, with your notepad and write notes. Do you know what I'm saying? All right. So validating our story, like just, like when we're saying be kind with ourselves, knowing it wasn't our fault. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we were literally brainwashed, guys, especially people who were like in leadership positions, especially if you've neglected your kids. I feel like there might be someone, like some people on the FYP who might have gone through that. Oh my gosh, this hay fever is doing bits, man. Oh yeah, but anyway, what was I saying? Like, if you haven't put the time in your kids, you just got to start from where you are. That's all you can do. You can't, guys, we can't get back lost time. That's just the truth. That, like, within this, like, there has to be like that acceptance as well. and we'll get into that. But like accepting, I love what Soft Life said yesterday on the live. Yeah, she was such a G. You're so right. She dropped so many gems and nuggets, didn't she, babe? Yeah. It was so good. And then she was on. We were on late, but then I think I went off. I was so tired. But hopefully she can come on today. She can share some more stuff with us. Because you know what? She's a specialist in her field. She's a therapist, especially. And then we've got Ange as well. Ange does come on and talk as well. And they always have like a lot of knowledge, man. Because I think Ange is also a therapist. So we've got quite a few people in the collective. It's wonderful. We've got a lot of professionals, but not only professionals, like people who like live for this work. Do you know what I mean? Like they're really, their heart is in it. Oh my gosh. I might have to take a hay fever thing, man. All right. Rebuilding trust in self and intuition. And I think Soft Life dipped into this, didn't she? When she was talking about you got to learn to trust yourself again because you've betrayed your body. Your body doesn't feel safe. It was so deep. I was like, oh my, I was just, she was deconstructing me. And guys, there's a live with her on YouTube and Instagram if you're interested. Oh gosh. If you're interested, you can go and watch it. Oh, sorry guys, 1 minute. All right. So, you know, getting back in touch with yourself, with your intuition, who you are. You know, it's like, if you imagine, it's like gluing all of those broken pieces back together of self. It's like that, man. You got to sit there and glue it all back together. It's such a painful experience working out where all the pieces go. How do you do that? But you get there, guys. And then once you've put the pieces back together, it then needs to, like, the glue needs to dry. You get me? Reclaiming spirituality outside the narcissist framework. But for some people, that deconstruction can end in, like, you know, atheism as well. But I think that, you know, if you can do that in your own individual way, I think it is good to do that, because it's like, I'm not telling people what to do, but for me, it was like I really didn't want them to be able to take back my power. So part of that was, you know, really reestablishing what God meant for me, not in an organizational way, not in a religious way, not in a, do you know what I mean? But just like, what does it mean to me from within? And it just felt good to not have any rules or not have any, you know, barriers or, you know, being told what to do, just being able to explore Christ in my own way. And I was afraid at first because I was like, oh my gosh, this is from, you know, it might be from the DEVIR. There was a lot of fear. And there still is, because there's certain things I'm just like, oh no, I can't go here. But I know, I listen to my body, because it's not the time for me to maybe explore, you know, that hypotheses or, you know, that hidden text. Because sometimes if you take on too much, you know, you can send yourself into psychosis. So me, I'd rather it take me 5 years to, like, you know, really understand and internalize one main truth that translates into every area. Do you know what I mean? And for me, that's connecting with myself. That's being at one with myself. Like, you know, like knowing who I am. I think once I know that, then I can trust myself. I can trust my gut. I can trust the feeling. I can trust my intellect. I can trust my decisions. But that takes time, because I went from going to Specsavers and crying because I didn't know what frames I wanted. I didn't know what my style was. I went from looking at absolute mess. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, thanks, Donald. I went from looking at absolute mess to getting back into my individuality, my style, you know? Like, God had to teach me, it's not about the money you have to buy those clothes. It's not the clothes that make you. You make the clothes. It's not the car that makes you. You make the car. You don't need, do you get what I'm saying? That's why them gal there that make it, like, that are famous. When you look at them gal there, yeah, like, what's her name? Ari and all them girl, yeah. They're like, they've been that girl from before the fame. It's not like the fame comes in, and that's why them girl that are copying it. You're not that girl, because you don't. That's their individual style. That's what makes them, because then you're a follower. And so those type of girl, like when they say things like, I got delivered from the baddie was it the baddie spirit or the baddie, the devil baddie called Jezebel, baddie called, it's like, babes, because you were following Ari or whatever, like a follower, and then you just exchange Ari for the Mog. Do you know what I mean? Like, were you ever about it a day in your life? Why do you think Ari's looking like that and dating rappers? Do you think Ari decided to go and start using Pinterest and go out and start dressing like a baddie? It's because Ari's from the ghetto, baby. She was just going out with guys from the end. She was with G Herbo. He's just from the hood. She was a hood girl going to the hood raves. She met G Herbo before he was G Herbo. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why I said to you, like, the man them that I know, they weren't the people that they are today. I just know them as that's why I'm home, girl. Do you get it? So when I see you lot trying to dress and act like them, I feel embarrassed for you. Anyway, let's get into it. No, I didn't go to Caris. We're the OGs. Caris are my cousins. Why do you ask? Caris are my cousins. David Antry is my cult leader is one of his main mentors, because he says that other guy's his spiritual father, so whatever. But when he came to my church cult, he was buying everyone Macarius's and going on his knees to Bishop Richard, begging and saying, you know, if it weren't for him introducing him to Dag, he wouldn't get. That's why his church, that's why it hasn't grown over however many branches they've got, and found out he goes to carry. Yeah, they because they indoctrinate young men, especially gifted. These type of cults, they like to have it is. They like to have like these type of cults, they like to recruit like promising, like young gifted people. It's so sad, because you got to remember, these cult leaders energetically, they siphon the energy, because once you start to deconstruct and deprogram around like the cult psychoed and like what they've done to you, and then you're more stable, you're grounded now, then you can start to go deeper. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, start to dig deeper, like at your pace. But what happens is people start to dig a bit deeper, and then they say, oh, no, this can't be true. Close the book, cognitive dissonance, and then they just cult hop, because it's like a bubble of reality. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to face the real world. They don't want to be in the real world. They want to believe in a fantasy. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it takes away the power, your autonomous thinking, because you've got like a book that you go along with, and it tells you what to do, what not to do, what you can do, what you can't. Do you know what I mean? It just makes things more simple for people. Makes it easier. They don't have to unpack the trauma. They don't have to. Do you know what I mean? It's all within the parameters of like a bubble, a self-sealing bubble. All right, so reclaiming spirituality outside the narcissist's framework is really important. You know, that's how I think I've taken my power back, because I can go on a, like, if because remember I said it's just light and dark. So if the vibe is not, you know, I don't get a bad energy and a bad vibe, I can be there. I don't judge people by, and that's the beauty of TikTok. You can hear something and it resonate. You don't know what that person believes, what their background, their whatever. You're just listening to the message, the information. And I think for me, that's been groundbreaking, because it's really taught me like not to judge. Because when you judge, you cut yourself off from like a whole world of information. But that's what they want to do. That's part of the information control, like demonizing people so that you won't get access to certain information that will expose them or set yourself free. Steps Pastor once called his musicians thief and Satan's cousins. It dumbfounded me. It doesn't surprise me. David Antry was talking about me from the pulpit. As I said to you, he's low level. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like in my cult, he would be like, I don't know, like maybe like the equivalent of my pastor, which is, he's still got like power in the cult, because he was like the resident pastor of the main branch. But in the grander scheme of things, he's like a drop in the ocean. Because then you got the archbishops, you got all these bishops' councils, you got David Antry is more on the level of a reverend. Look, it's just facts. Like anyone who's into ministry will know I'm speaking facts. That's why they hate JTE to see me come. But let's just speak the truth, because this is how they talk in their little circles anyway, in the mega you know what world. Yeah, if they all talk like this, yeah. All right. Do you know what? I'm not going to say this one because I weren't ready for introducing healthy leadership. Sorry guys, I got to lie on my back. It's really bad today, and I'm so bloated as well. So I won't be able to see. I'll look at the comments every now and then, guys. Or maybe do you think I should move the camera? All right. So oh, sorry guys. 1 minute. I'm trying to get it to an angle where you can see me, but YouTube, I feel like oh my gosh, that was so unflattering. YouTube, I feel like you're gonna get a weird angle of me, but I really can't. I've got to do it like this for now, so I can just get more comfortable laying down. Yeah, guys, you can kind of see me a bit in it. All right, so what was I saying? I feel like it was better the other way. Oh, why did I even move it, y'all? What was the reason? What was the reason? What was the reason? All right. Oh. So we've also got right. So disentanglement, mental and emotional unhooking. So basically what this means is that when you leave the group, it doesn't mean that it's out of your mind. So remember I said that you leave physically. You leave physically, but you don't leave mentally, like psychologically. Like that's where the battle is. Hey, Miss CHM, that's where the battle is. Okay, so you've got to disentangle yourself. So that's where the deprogramming and the deconstruction really helps, like deconstructing Christianity, because you know why the cult leader needs to become like another man. Remember I said that to you when people were asking me last year, like, what do you need to do to that? I said the cult leader has to, you just got to like, you got to make him like a human, like bring him down to like the level that he is, just a man. He's not a god, he's not a prophet, he's not a, do you know what I mean? That's who he says he is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like Christ warned us about loads of false prophets, guys. Come on. So topic. So, you know, you can, again, so I spoke about the deprogramming, undoing indoctrination. So it's good to look at like common myths, threats, curses. So common threads. What was the like ABUSE tactics that they use? So stuff like the cursing, you'll be cursed or you'll lose your destiny. Did they kind of only pray for people with blessings? You know, like really psychoanalyze it, like really think about the different things that were used in there. You know, understanding the tactics, so that they use gaslighting, guilt, and fair conditioning. And guys, to be honest, we've gone through a lot of this, but I wanted to talk about it in more of a structured way so that you could follow this along, especially if you're having a bad day. This is a good one to save, guys. You know, on YouTube, if you're having a bad day, because it will help you to get focused with your thoughts on what you need to concentrate on. And you can even stop the video in between and go and look up, do you know what I mean, like certain things, or you know, like, oh yeah, guys, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a playlist of like more like deprogramming, but going into the unconscious, subconscious, more neuroscience, quantum physics, going into more, if you're not ready to dip into like a higher level of deconstruction, no deprogramming, then don't touch the unconscious files. But for people that are ready to really go like within, you know, the subconscious mind, I'll be putting very controversial videos on there. Some people might find controversial, but that playlist is going to have absolutely no barriers. No, I'm not even going to think about what people might think, whatever. So you've got to be ready, chair, because there's going to be all sorts on there. Because I just love knowledge. I just like finding out about various different things. There might even be things on there about like maybe hoodoo or something to do with maybe African spirituality, for you to see the similarities as well. On focuses on like incantation, like ancestor and spirit possession, because I want you to see that this is exactly the same. But you don't have to click into those videos, but I just think things like that are interesting for me to watch, because it gives me, like, it helps me, it validates it, man. Like, it wasn't all in my head. Like, this is actually what they're doing up in there. Do you know what I'm saying? All right, so another thing that it recommends here is having a support system. So I'm going to say this is where like the shadow work will come in, you know, journaling. Remember we spoke about, and guys, everything I'm speaking about, I've got a live for it. So this part is establishing your new belief systems versus what your old ones were, looking at morals versus what your old ones are. Because when you deconstruct, you learn that a lot of things are just BS. So it might change the way you see like other faiths, different groups, like choices that people make. And then the path and the journey that you take post cult exit, God kind of takes you through this, like teaches you how to be humble, because you go through so much stuff and it just makes you realize, you know what, I can't judge, because it's like God loves you when you're like at the bottom of the barrel, boy. Because you see, like when your whole like infrastructure, like, because that's your whole infrastructure, you know, your whole support, like that whole place, like when you're feeling like you're gonna delete yourself, it's there you're going, you know. It's these people that you're relying on to bring you back to life spiritually. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever get it twisted. It's not a game or a joke. That's what people don't understand. Like, they think people are just, we're not just coming in here, babes. We're not just coming in here. We've got serious issues. And we are literally codependent on these environments. We form actual like codependent relationships and trauma bonds with these leaders, to the point where we can't make decisions ourselves. So doing inner child work. Yeah. So again, you know, guys, like Soft Life was talking about that, like just feeding the inner child, like just doing the things that your inner child would want to do. It might even just be like, you know, like just having a chance to relax, because some people, when they come from like these religious environments, yeah, it's like sometimes they had to be like a mum when they were like 11. Do you know what I'm saying? Like having to look after all of these kids, like having to, because, you know, like if you're like a second gen, and you grew up in these environments, your mum or your parents would have spent a lot of time in the space. So it might be that your inner child just wanted to rest, and now you got your own place, and you know, maybe you're feeling like everything needs to be spotless, everything, because you had to do that. You know what I'm saying? There was an expectation, and maybe sometimes you just need to rest. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so it really is. That's why I can't give, like, I give little examples here and there and try and think outside of the box, but you see how it's going to be individual for everyone. That's why you can't put people in a box. Like, you can't package religion like a Happy Meal in a box. Like, it just, do you know, even like when I look back, I just feel so like, oh my gosh, like, how did I fall for that? How did I fall for like packaging God like that? Like, that's some proper, like, it's proper like boxed in. Like, you're in this building 24 hours a day. You're just on your feet the whole time. Oh my gosh, the way my feet are battered, and my hands just look like I've worked a million lifetimes. Like, you're just doing so much like manual work, and you got to prove yourself as a girl. Because if you do more, there's a lot of girls, but the more you do, the more valuable you are to them. Oh guys, I feel sick. It's like they put a price tag on everyone's head. And it's like the more you do, the more valuable you are. The more you do, the more consistent you are, the more you're around. Like, that's how they start to notice you. That's how the pastor starts to notice you. And that's how you start to become like part of the fold. And when they see that people are naturally like flowing with the environment and they love being there, and that's their prey. Like, that's the bait for them. Like the overexcited one. And there's always one that's got like an ambiguous type of race that looks a bit, you know, spicy, with the guys that are in there very overzealous. And I know I'm taking this really deep, guys, but I have to, because they prey on people's vulnerability, especially when they know, like, for example, Hannah said it, like, Hannah's more on this side, yeah, and they knew that, and they took advantage of it. Remember, she said she felt like they treated her like in a special way because she was the opposite. Do you understand? But because Hannah's just a real one, she would call it out. And then they would be like, oh, it's because she drinks, you know. That's what they'd be saying about the girl, you know. Guys, Hannah has been battling. She's spoken about this on the lives loads of times. She's been battling with alcohol for like years, yeah, since she was like 11 or 12. When this girl came to the cult, she was in rehab. All right. And within a couple of months, they're making this girl a leader. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Oh, this is just too much, man. This is just too much. It's just too much. Like, honestly, there's such vulnerable people in there, man. It's so sad. Like, you know, when I just think back and I just see certain people's faces and I think about the people that are left there, they're just the most vulnerable. I just disassociated, babe. I just completely disassociated, you know, because there's so much with Hannah's story. There's so much. Like they failed her, man. They failed her. Because remember, on paper, hey, Soft Life, on paper, they're a charity. Do you know what I'm saying? They're a with the charity, what is it? Charities Companies House. Do you know what I'm saying? These people are liars, man. All right. So, and babe, Soft Life, you might have something to add for these because I've just gone on ChatGPT, but it's talking about disentanglement and mental and emotional unhooking. But no pressure, girl. Just as and when you might want to be in the comments, might want to come on, whatever you feel. Guys, I need to put oil in my hair. My hair, my scalp's feeling dry. I don't know. I just feel really like, I don't know how to explain it today. Does anyone else feel like that? Really funny. Like after this, I'm going to go and have a nice rose bath. I just want to like, do you know what I mean? Just relax, put my candles on. I got a nice little lantern candle up there. I'm going to put it on. Do you know what I'm saying? Just I've had my stuff like all scented. You know, had that on the whole day. So yes, girl. So I've had like my candles burning and everything. So it's been lovely. But you know, power of the mind, guys. We've got to think positive. That's why I said let me talk a little bit more about breaking free. Do you know what I'm saying? Breaking free from this cult ABUSE. And you know, just looking at like how we move forward a little bit more because there's a lot of information. Yeah, that's why RPF's on my mind, yeah, because they've been praying for me apparently. All right, so oh yeah, this one was really interesting, I think. And to be honest, when Soft Life did that live, she went through quite a few of these topics, so I'm just gonna kind of like just skim through them so that you guys can come back to the video if you want and you know look at the different things, the different steps that you can take to like take your power back. So grieving and honoring the loss, guys, I'm not gonna lie, this is out of everything. I could have just done a live on this, grieving and honoring the loss, because for me, I think you do have to go through that grieving process of like grieving the person you were before, like in that space. And if you don't take your time to go through that grieving process and allow yourself to like give yourself time to find yourself, love yourself, work on you, like take yourself out. And I understand that some people, especially if you've been in like a celibate or lifeless marriage, and then you know I understand that people might just want to be outside a bit, you know, get your back blown out a little bit. I'm not oh hey Faye, I'll love you. What do you mean, babe? Yeah, so people might just want to go out, do you know what I mean, and have a little bit of fun. So I'm not here to judge. Everyone's got their own individual path and journey, because I think it's unfair to say to a woman who hasn't got her needs met for years, then she finally breaks free to like, you know, spend another 3 years. She might just want to have a good time for a bit. You don't have to be alone, Leah. I got you. Even got a new car. What are you talking? Who the hell is this? Who are you, bro? Like, do you know what I'm saying? I got someone else who wants to do things for me as well. I'm not desperate outside in these streets, yeah. All I have to do is put a video up right now. Do you know what I mean? Just coming in with some funny vibes. Do I look like I'm desperate? About I don't have. Who said I was alone? Pretty girls are never alone, babe. I'm never alone. Are you having a lot? Who said I was alone? Babe, I can go to the pub at the bottom of my road and I'm not going to be alone in 5 minutes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm never alone, sweetie. I've got God around me. Oh my gosh, it's just ridiculous. I don't know where they're coming in from. They're all from the coal. I need to take off some mods. YouTube, how are you feeling? I'm just doing it now, girl. I'm just like, I don't even know. I'll just take off Kay for now. She does come on regularly, but just so I can add soft life for now. Anyway, I'm going to go in a minute because, you know, I really want to go and like enjoy the evening. But you might get me back on later though. It depends how I'm feeling because I had some good news today. That's why I'm not here bawling my eyes out. I had some good news today. I've actually got quite a bit of good news today, actually. So I'm not going to, it's been good. It's been good. So you have to grieve the person that you were before and also come to that place of like acceptance. Do you know what I mean? If you once had these titles and you were a pastor or you were a reverend, your identity is not in the title. It's not in the environment. It's not in what you do. You know, I had to strip that all back to be like, I'm just Leah. At first, it was like, I'm just Leah because I didn't want to have any religious talk. I didn't want to be seen as a child of God. I didn't want to be seen as anything like that. I just wanted to be Leah. And then as the time went on and I started to heal, then I kind of got round to, oh, okay, you know, God's been faithful when I was coming because I just lost it. I was in a dissociative state for years, you know, and obviously I was out there. I had, you know, BPD, you know, drinking, being outside. It's such a toxic mix, especially when you're unbeknown to you that you're neurodivergent. You've been in a cult for 18 years, got more of the mindset of a 19-year-old than a 34 or however old I was. You know, guys, like there's so much that I haven't shared. Like at the right time, I will be sharing. Thanks, Lynn's Braids. And also I do want to do like, hopefully like a tell-all book. Thank you, my love. And I won't be holding back on that. People will be getting exposed. I don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? Nobody can't tell me nothing, babes. Do you know what I'm saying? You get me? All right. So leaving the lie doesn't mean it wasn't real for you or some parts weren't real for you, because remember I said that there were moments, guys, when we might have felt that, you know, God did something for us, or God, do you know what I mean, when we were in the environment. And remember I said to you, if you give like your last £100 and then you don't know how you're going to get by, like, you know, God will never leave you nor forsake you in that capacity when we're talking about, you know, in a religious or, you know, biblical context or whatever. So I do believe that God does come through for people like in that environment, especially like when they're desperate, because it's like what they're gonna do is so sad. And people become like begging for the crumbs. This is what we were talking about yesterday. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, just like even if the neighbor, you know, comes and says to them, oh, I cooked today, look, I gave you this. It's like, oh, the neighbor gave me food that they have sacrificed for the Lord. It's like, what? Does this make any? Then you wonder why we think you're spiritually psychotic, because you've given your £100 and you've got home and your neighbor who's cooked food has given you some. Like, it's not a miracle. Like, it's not from God. They've just cooked food and given you some, babe. Like, anyone could do that. So this is why when you go into these settings and you start talking like this is concerning, man, because it shows you ain't got nothing going on in your life. The smallest things that people are doing like it's nothing. It's a piece of, you know what, like it's just everyday life. It's just a normal progression of life, to get a car, to get a house, to get a wife. So you're in there giving testimonies. And that's how they exploit people through these testimonies. And then girls start going there thinking, yeah, I can get a husband in here. Then the years go by, they're there for 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. They're not, it's not the born again first experience that they miss. Now they're 25, 26, getting shelved. Or sometimes they're even 23 and they haven't got a husband. And they're feeling like, oh my gosh, you know, I haven't got anyone, my friends are getting married. They start to get depressed because the things that were promised to them, the things that they told them that they were going to give them, it's like they haven't achieved it. They haven't got it yet. They haven't got the husband. They haven't got the things that the pastor said that they were going to get. They're just in the same position. But then they start to bring in, oh, sacrifice, fight the good fight. It's hard. Now we're getting persecuted. Like what they're going to be doing up right now is saying you've got to be bold in your faith. Hey, Lola, they're going to be saying that you've got to be bold in your faith. It's reverse psychology. Because in the background and whatever they're saying and whatever the rhetoric is, persecution, apocalyptic themes, a lot of fear-based programming, and then a lot of RADICAL, very extreme ideologies, coupled with a lot of mind-altered states. So having them in like trance, like mind-altered states, so they'll be announcing like a lot of fasting, a lot of prayer, a lot of events, which include them being like in the tight-knit community. So that's why I say, especially with the street people that are out on the street, guys, just don't engage with them. Just don't talk to them, because these guys are like on the edge at the moment. They're in a real psychotic, like it's getting a lot for them, and it's a lot for them to take in. We need to give them space to understand that it's a different world we're living in now. It's not a Christian nation, unfortunately. They don't have the power. Like, laws are getting changed. They're not going to be able to operate the way they used to. Like, you know, they've just got to get used to it. And I just don't think we should be giving them rage bait. Do you know what I'm saying? And because again, if those guys are going out and they're talking to themselves, they got no content. And this is what I'm going to talk about. I need to break down how narcissistic they are and how they thrive off the narcissistic supply of people creating conflict, chaos, etc. And when I break it down, I'm hoping, you know, I'm going to be posh, Leah. I'm hoping that video will go far. I need to try and get good light and yeah. Need to do it downstairs in the living room. I'll try with this video. You get me? So, yeah. It's that if we don't give them the content, again, it's the people. They're feeding off the people's energy. Like when that guy from the other faith was giving him all that attention, saying, talking about my religion, it was like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? He's like, I know, what are you trying to do? You know, that's what the guys do before they're gonna like throw hands. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, that's what they'll say. It's like a very, very aggressive. It's not even passive aggressive, very aggressive. But you know, all the people them that's there riling them up and egging them on, they've come from the suburbs. Most of them have come from the suburbs, or they're wannabe GMs. You know, I mean, the girls are wannabe Jada Waders before they started doing up, you know, what they were doing up with the organization. The guys are a bunch of, I don't even know who's out there. I don't even know who's out there, wannabe, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's just the MESS. No one really knows. No one really understands what's going on outside in these streets. That's why I've had to come and like tell people what it is. Do you understand? Because what they think they are, they're not. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I've lived a certain life, so I just see right through them. And when you see right through them, that's it. Like, I know every type of man them there is. And not because I've been around the block, because them gal there that be around the block, they can't describe what man them are like. They can't tell you the things I'm telling you about their childhood, about their parents. I've had man them bawling their eyes out to me. You having a laugh when their brother's been unalive, like bawling. Are you joking? Like, you know, people, these guys that I'm telling you about are feared. Like, even when they're crying, like, man, them are still trying to look on the floor, not knowing what to do. Do you get it? Like, please, I don't care what you think you are. I'm telling you, that's not what it is, baby. All right. So I digress. Let's get back onto it. So the whole point of it is like mourning the loss, identity, relationships that and also it's mourning the relationships that you thought you had. You haven't really lost anything, you know, but it's mourning almost like that ideology or the potential or what you thought it was, because it's during that mourning process, what happens is you come to the realization of that it was all a lie and it wasn't true. And so then you have to start to unpack it. Yeah, the idea of it. Yeah, it's like a girl who's like see the potential in this guy. She's been with him for years. He said he's going to be this big entrepreneur. He's got this invention. She's with him 1 year. It's all fun. Yeah. I've got this invention. That 5 years go by. They get married. The kids come. I've got this invention. It's going to happen. It's going to happen this year. 10 years go by. 15 years. Still working on the invention. Seeing the potential. There's got to be a time when you're like, do you know what? I've got to leave this person because this is just like, you're not okay. And there is a point when you need to see that, do you know what? They've been telling me that, you know, they're going to create this invention. We're going to fly. We haven't flown. You haven't flown. There's no, they haven't, the invention, they've been saying for 10 years, 5 years, 8 years, how many more years of your life are you going to give it till you believe that you can fly, baby? Come on, y'all, like up the live, man. How many years are you going to believe it? And you know, it's like such a force to like believe that what the prophet has said is coming to pass. It takes so much more of your energy to believe it than it actually happening. It's mad. How people will go up and give 2 grand, you know, and the mug will come and lay his hands on them and be like, say a little prayer, say some invisible blessings, and they're on their way. Do you know what kind of master manipulation it takes to get people to? That's why I'm saying this is dangerous. This is narcissism. I really hope that like the seriousness of, you know, like the damage that narcissists can do to like society, communities and stuff, I really hope that, you know, a light shines on it, especially within these settings that we're talking about. And to be honest, as sad as all of the things that are happening in the USA, and my heart goes out to all of them because I'm a mother, and it's absolutely heartbreaking, you know, to see what's happening out there, man. But it's heartbreaking for everybody, like all around the world. There's so much going on in that place with P, you know what I'm saying? Like I saw a video of a baby that was like, the eyes were like shell shocked because of what he saw happen to his mum and dad, and it just broke my heart. All right, so accepting the good and the bad that happens, I think that also brings peace, you know, and a bit of equilibrium and balance, because when you can only see the bad, it's almost like, you know, because you're healing, and part of that healing process is also being able to be a bit more balanced in your thoughts. You know, when you move into like non-biased, like looking at things, really breaking it down, there was some fleeting moments where there might have been good, like I say, a beautiful song that I was singing, but even now in the back of my mind I'm still like, yeah, but I was at the rehearsal. So you're never like fully there, but you're like getting there. Do you know what I mean? It's all a part of healing. We're not doing it for them to give them validation that there were some good moments. So that's for us, so that we can let go. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why for me, the consciousness of Christ is very important, because, you know, that knowledge around forgiveness, I think is, you know, it crosses over into a lot of philosophical thought. A lot, you can find it in psychology and science, you know what I mean, like being good for your health, etc. So that is like a truth that you can find. It transcends into many different spheres. Not only it actually transcends dimensions as well, that truth. A lot of things that Christ said transcends dimensions. You know, it's like got that infinity. Do you get what I'm saying? In the words that Christ spoke. That's why for me, it's like, yeah, I'm not letting go of that. But I understand when people do. I hope I'm not being too much. But, you know, guys, I'm just coming to this like healing thing where I can talk. But if it's too much, let me know, because I know when I first came out. And don't feel no way, guys, because if you say it's too much and like you're a survivor and we're getting the vibe and stuff, it's not like you're going to get blocked. So just feel like it's a safe space. All right, so again here, what's it, Soft Life spoke about this somatic expression, so dancing, drawing, moving, you know, moving the body, the hips, the waist. You know, I do azul movements with scarves and, you know, like in the wind. So I haven't done it this year though. I need to like just go. I'll do you a lot of video. I'll do you a lot of updated one. I'll just be in my little beach wear, spinning on the sand with a what's it called, a shawl. and it's lovely because not only am I doing movement in the hips and whatever, but I'm also doing it with the scarf. So, you know, making different kind of shapes and patterns with the scarf and creating still images out of them and then putting them together. So there's that creative process after. So guys, there's a lot of things that we can do. I didn't realize that these things were all healing. I suppose what I'll do is some videos like talking about it, because I didn't know I was doing these things, like the names for these things, and even like the drawing. Like I do a lot of artwork on my walls, talking to your former self with compassion. And you can also journal that. But again, I think that's about forgiveness for the self. But again, I don't think you need to believe in Christ to be a forgiving person, but they'll act like, oh, but babe, all I know is I've met atheists that are more forgiving than people that claim that you know, they believe in that, and that's supposed to be the foundation, like the main thing we can identify you as when you say you're from that particular faith group, is that you're supposed to be a forgiving person. That's why it's not really important what their faith is now. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like worship me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and they can't knock me for that, because you lot are worshipping your pastors, so don't even go there. Do you know what I mean? So why is it all right for your pastors to get worshipped, but a man can't come and worship me and feed me grapes and run me a nice bath and wine and dine me and cook me food? Why can't a man worship? Why can't he appreciate to have, you know, a goddess in his presence? You get like a Mona Lisa. You need to know your worth. That's what you need to do up. And I'm not going to let anyone drag me down to their vibration. Sorry, I am who I am. I think that I am who I am, and I love myself. So I'm not going to let, do you know what I mean? So that's the vibes. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you treat me good, because we could believe in the same thing, but you're emotionally unavailable. You're manipulative. You know, you don't get me no gifts. You don't appreciate me. You don't tell me. Do you know how hurtful it is when you've been with these men for years and you've had kids with them, and then you like do something to your hair, they don't even compliment you? It's like, it just breaks your soul. You know, like, this is a very small example, but I just want women to know that this is like emotional ABUSE, babe, because it's not that he hasn't noticed the hair. He has noticed it, but he's choosing not to like big you up. It's like a, because you see the man them that like are like this, these are usually the ones that are from these settings. Yeah, they become even jealous of the wife. They become jealous because they're more successful in ministry. It could be because they got a better job. It could be so much. I mean, the list goes on and on. And the worst is when you're in a relationship with a man and he starts to mirror you. Oh my gosh. That, guys, if a guy starts mirroring your behavior and starts saying words that you say and stuff, it's time to cut out. It's time to cut out. Because why is your man speaking back to you like yourself? Oh my, that's weird. Why is your man arguing with you like it's yourself, arguing back to you like a female, like a gal? Are you having a laugh and you're in that situation and you think that that's all right? That's how all of their relationships are. It's mad in there, man. Yeah, girl. The man them have got so many issues, man. And for some reason, the ones that find themselves in there, they don't have very good relationships with their mom. And if they think they do, they're delusional, because they've come from them settings, like, you know, the ones that we've spoken about, guys, when things will be going on at the home, but mummy and daddy will put on the ashwebi, put on the smiley face and go to the, you know, the event. They'll be at the engagement. They'll be at the uncle's engagement, and the uncle's need to patronize him. He's opening his new shop or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. And also because they lack social skills. Yes. So in these environments, and that's why a lot of women, gosh, this is going to be a bit controversial, but I've got to be honest. There are a lot of women who are married to men in these spaces with undiagnosed autism, undiagnosed ADHD. Like, there's some guys who have been like incarcerated when they were like young. Guys, I'm talking about 14. Like, you know what my brother said to me? Yeah, my brother's been in and out of jail since he's been in and out of, like, just in trouble with the law since he was about 13. Yeah. He's been in and out of jail since he was 16. Do you know what my brother turned around and said to me? Because he's like, oh, Liam, man, now that you're divorced, man, I don't want no problems. Because he remembers like what I was on before. I was like, no, man, like, I got 2 kids now, innit? Like, it's not that. So he was like, yeah, because he was afraid I was going to bring problems to him. So then he was like to me, he's like, I'm just going to give you one bit of advice. He was like, don't get with a guy who, and guys, if you have been incarcerated, please don't get offended. But this is from like one gangster to another in it. So just keep it real. He just basically said that when guys go inside, they're never the same. He said they're never the same mentally. Like my brother's been in like, you know, like they've got this bit called segregation, where it's like they have no light. They're just put in, it's like they say that you get put in a hole. So, you know, they've got the normal cells. Then there's like a basement part to these institutions, because I worked in them. Oh, guys, it's traumatic. We'll talk about that another day. but there is really traumatic things that they go through in there. Some things that they might not even be able to talk about. So, you know, and then they don't really get the support after and whatever. So my brother just said to me, basically, like, as you're like, you know, been in the cult for a long time, whatever, just don't go for mandem like that. So my thing is, there's guys in there who, and there's a couple that I'm thinking about. They've got such, they come from such like so much trauma. And the guy was like incarcerated young because he was in a youth prison, like Feltham. When they get put away like that when they're young, that's usually like they're active and they're outside. And me and this guy used to clash. He used to remind me of the one, you know, like the youngers in the gangs, and it's like they're so like, you know, like overzealous, like hyped up to like prove themselves, and that's when they get a bit like, and they get used as well. That's why they end up in jail, because the olders know they're going to get like big time, so they use the youngers. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they know they're going to get less time. That's why they started changing like the laws and stuff in it, because they noticed that they were doing these things, and then it changed to CCE and trafficking, because it's like, why are we giving these kids sentences? Do you know what I'm saying? When they've been GROOM'd, they've got this trauma. We need to think about rehabilitation. Is it really worth giving this, you know, this child a criminal record? Can we rehabilitate him into, is there some sort of program? You know, and that's why I said, you can't come on here and tell me you went jail when you were 14 and you were in a gang, because it's like, no, you weren't, babes. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe the time that you went jail, they didn't establish CC, but it makes you the same. It's no different from someone who didn't get diagnosed with ADHD. They still had it. It doesn't make a difference. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just this, it just takes a while. Oh, where's my remote? It just takes a while for the theory. It just takes a while for the theory to catch up with, like, you know, the phenomenon of human behavior. Like, that's in a social science world, you know, like anything to do with like human behavior. It takes a while, because it's phenomenons. It takes a lot of unpacking. Like, so for example, look, I was in there for 18 years. I'm going to come out and write my book and, you know, be in the field, the area of like cult psychoeducation and things like that. But it took me 18 years being in there. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, these things are all, like, I believe it's all divine. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why I couldn't come out and do it like in like a authoritarian or like a legalitarian. That's a good word, isn't it? Kind of way. That works, isn't it? Where it's like so like structured, and it's like I've got to let people into my life. I've got to be open. I've got to be transparent. I've got to bear it all, because the things that people have been through, it's crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just naturally like that. I'll just say, but I knew when I came out and I started speaking, I couldn't come out and just be like all closed, because I knew people were going to see right through me, because we had been told so many lies and we had to live a lie. It wasn't really who we were. So I just wanted to be myself, and I made that promise to myself that I'll always just be Leah the survivor, because I've been like a social worker, a youth worker, what's doing ministry. Do you know how draining that was? I never got a break. That's why I'm so ill, because even the work that I do alone, it was like I didn't get a break. It was like double, because I was so overzealous. I wanted to do work that was like being a pastor. So the closest thing I could find was like, you know, this youth and community work thing. So more of the kind of statutory work though, because when you're in there, you're like elitist. So I worked for like local government. So it was like, because you got to wear, you know, like they were very like suits, fundamentalist, conservative back then. You know, if you were a student of the arts, you know, Bishop Dagwood Mills would break you down. He used to laugh. He used to say, "Oh, you are art student," and then glorify the medical students and the lawyers. So a lot of people didn't follow like their dreams. They're doing like pharmacy or whatever, just to please their parents, and they're not passionate about it. Do you know, their soul is unaliving because they're a creative, but they're doing pharmacy. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like people just get put into a box. They put them into the boxes that they want to put them in. Like right now, they're in a state of, you know, fasting and prayer and mind altered states. It's excessive. Do you know what I'm saying? They want them to be like that. So they're like on the edge. They can't be on here, like on the internet. It's mad. I'm just hoping that at this point, people are getting pushed like beyond the maximum. And I'm hoping that certain people at this point will start to wake up, because I feel like there's been people who have been on the periphery and not really been sure, But what I feel like is I really feel like God is like moving and making things happen. Do you understand what I'm saying? At like an individual level. Do you guys get what I mean when I say that? More of an individual level. Do you get what I'm saying? Like just revealing it to them, because it takes a lot, like for your eyes to be opened when you're in this situation. I'm not even gonna lie. It takes a lot. Like God has to really shake things up, Jer. Do you get it? Because it's so subtle, it's so hard to see. And you don't want to see it, man. Like waking up to this reality that they've just been lying to you the whole time, and what you thought was true your heart is soul crushing, man. And I'm not gonna lie, like I don't want to say you know, you never know what will happen. And you know, I could say there's certain people that I don't think would be able to mentally survive it, like come into the realization. But you never know. You never know. You just don't know, because this like is a time of awakening. But there are certain people that are going to be there for the rest of their lives. All right. So reclaiming power and identity. So you get to decide who you are now. So we make the rules. We set the rules in our life. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we are the main characters of this show, because the main character's been the cult leader. So if you don't think you're the main character, you need to work towards that, making yourself the main character. Because listen, if you could make a narcissistic, mentally unwell cult leader the main character and help to feed into that energy and that whole, you know, whatever, that he's this, whatever, then you can do it for yourself, babe. You've definitely got it in there, because we've all been a people pleaser. We've all been, you know, kissing, you know what. So we can do that for ourselves. We can love on ourselves. We can appreciate ourselves. We can applaud ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like we can be our own cheerleader, like we were the Mogs cheerleader. We can clap for ourselves. Like, because remember, it was a lot of clapping we used to do, you know, like bare clapping with the hands, you know. Even that was like a robot, like clap, sit down, stand up, sit down. You know, it's like, it's just so, oh, there was something that Soft Life said on the live. She said it's very manufactured. Like everything in there is manufactured, and it's so true. It's like you can't be outside of the box. You can't be autonomous. You cannot be yourself, Chair. In those spaces, if you go in and you're like your true authentic self, you will stick out like a what is it, red sore thumb. You know what I'm trying to say. That's why even when I went art, like I toned it down. I still tried to let there be some of me, but I toned it down, because you can't go to them places. Like you can't go to these religious institutions and be yourself. You're going to get judged. It's just the way they think. It's just the way religion works, guys. Come on, let's be honest. And I think if people who were in these settings were a little bit more honest, I think it would help. But because the delusion's there and they're like, no, 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 I don't. And then they start saying scriptures and, you know, you can't articulate how you feel. You've always got to give me a scripture. You always got to talk to me from the lens of like this pastor who's like above me or in some leadership. What? Who are you, Joe? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, not on the pulpit, not when you. Who are you? Like, how's your marriage? Like, why are they above people? Why are they off limits? Why do they have to go to the man of God? If they've got that structure when they're having marriage difficulties and they've got to go to the man of God to discuss it privately, then they're coming. That's fake. That's fake. Because they're coming in and they're creating a fake facade that this marriage is working, that they're happy, but they're not. So if they're lying to themselves and their spouse and they look in that mirror every day and they're not happy, but they tell themselves that they're happy, then they're lying to themselves. So if they're lying to themselves, they're going to be lying to you. They can't see the truth, because the truth starts with looking at yourself and looking at that reflection back at the mirror and being really honest. I would prefer you to come on and say, do you know what? I'm really struggling in my marriage right now, but I will like preach the gospel. Don't come on and act like everything's okay. And then you start leading young people astray by like talking about marriage. Because we all know majority of these women are happier in some of these marriages, especially the pick-me's, than the men. The men are the ones who feel trapped. They have to pretend because it's a system that rewards being pretentious. Very much. And the elitism in it. It's just too much. So I hope this is helping you guys to, like, you know, validate and make you feel happy that you've left, and you know, validate your experiences, because it's all a show. It's all a theatre production. It's lights, camera, action. Oh, how did I get back to this? All right. So in reclaiming your power and identity. You get to decide who you are now, your fashion. That's what I said. Look at it like it's an exciting way. You get to, like, you know, start your life again, build yourself up. You got to think positively, guys. Like today I started thinking a lot more positively. Like never have I had a time where I can just like regulate my nervous system, get myself better, try and eat more healthier, get myself on meds, get myself the strongest I've ever been. So when I'm starting to do my thing, I'm gonna be stronger than I ever have. It's like looking at the long-term goal. Do you get what I'm saying? But being in the present and enjoying the present moment, enjoying where I am now. I may never get this season in my life again where I can be on TikTok. So do you see, it's about looking at the glass half full and the glass half empty? Because do you see how God has perfectly aligned it to be like this divine moment where I'm in this season where, because of my health and my disability, I have, but you know, there's a grace for me to be on and to be doing this, and you know what I'm saying? So guys, when you deep it, we need to reclaim back our power, man. We've taken back our life. We've got our freedom. Hey, Queen, we've got our freedom. We can be who we want to be. We can go where we want to go. We can start to build that relationship back up with ourselves and start to feel safe, regulating that nervous system and starting to feel more safe and comfortable. And there's a thing I learned in what's it, the survivors trust me. You basically, there's this might be somatics though, because the girl taught it soft life, but basically it's just this, and you just rock and you just hug yourself, and you just get, it always soothes me. When I was at my lowest, I would just start doing this, because there was a girl that was in I think it's called like cradling or rocking or something, but there was a girl who was in like an apocalyptic type cult, guys. It was wild. It was like an offshoot cult of Jehovah Witness, yeah, and her family built like a bunker like underneath, so she did all her homeschooling there. She weren't allowed to leave. Oh, guys, it was a lot. So that's why if you meet someone like that, yeah, and they identify as they, them, and then you start judging that person like, oh my gosh, like you're judging them. But that person is, it's literally a miracle that person's alive. Like sitting here to tell the tale and speak to us today. Just be able to tell us about her experience that she survived. But we're going to say, no, sorry, you can't come on there because of A, B, C, and D. Does it make sense, guys? It doesn't, does it? Everybody has the right to speak their truth. It's about if we're ready to hear it or not. That's what it's about. It's not what they're saying that's the problem. It's whether we're ready to hear it, because the reality is this exists in society. This is what's happening. It's here now. You can't ignore it. You can't run away from it and hide and you know, like disassociate and trap yourself in a self-sealing system. That's what we used to do. That's why those spaces become addictive and it's attractive and it's appealing to us. It's not even the miracles and all of that. That's like it's like shooting up. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the environment in itself is what we become codependent to. Do you get what I'm saying? And that supply, the validation from the mog. It's like if we hear it from the mog, it's like it's real, it's true for us. It's crazy. Identity beyond doctrine. So who you really are. So again, it's because our identity is framed in being born again, or a pastor, or whatever it was that you were in there. Like for me, you know, the worship leader, I gave up all my dreams. So that was all I had, the ministry, like what I was building for myself. I didn't concentrate on work like that. I would have achieved a lot more in the world with this mind, the way I think, definitely. So they held me back. They stumped my growth. They unalived my creativity and any type of drive that I had left within me. They squeezed it all out, absolutely every part of me. It's taken me so long to just start building back my confidence and getting back like who I am. It's been so hard. It's been such a journey. Having to, you know, look at myself in the mirror and face like all of that trauma that had been suppressed and oppressed for many years, you know, and really choosing to decide. I'm going to say to take the tough road. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I could have taken the easy way out, man. I could have taken the easy way out. But I chose myself. And I choke because the healing journey is not easy, man. It's like when you say that you're going on this, oh, I love you too, babe. When you say you're going on the healing journey, prepare to be in the gar. Prepare to be in the forest, the wilderness, the desert. Like, be prepared, man. That's all a part of it. That's why that path's narrow. That's why, like, knowledge, like, you know, like the even that's why Christ spoke in parables, because it's not for he doesn't cast his pearls amongst swine. It's not for everybody. It has to be decoded. You have to go within. You have to have a heart of flesh. You have to have a pure soul. Otherwise, you can't see, because you're not reading it with physical eyes. You read it with physical eyes, but then your spiritual eyes will also be talking to you. And that's what I'm telling you. I'm not going to tell you what my spiritual eyes have seen, because that's for me. You need to figure out what God's saying to you individually, because your makeup is completely different to me. Your educational experience, your background, that all plays a part into how, you know, your psychosocial views, like how you form the world, and even maybe how you can, you know, connect with self, or if you don't believe in God, because I need to remember there's atheists, but also how you connect with God. That can't be taught. That's something that comes from within. Because listen, no one can tell you what to do when you're in crisis. Like, when you're on that sick bed, yeah, and you're at the end of life, because remember, I've worked in palliative care. So I've worked with patients that I've been at the end of life, like when they've got 3 days to go, like 1 day to go. Like, I've seen a person like unalived. All right. And at that moment, there's no one there. It comes down to like your personal relationship with God. Like, it's between you and God. It doesn't involve any man. It doesn't involve, you can't get up to go to the institution. Like, what? Come on, guys, man. So all of that fellowship stuff, it just doesn't, like, what are you talking about, babe? What about the people, like, the elderly people? You know what just came to my mind? A survivor sent me this story. I can't even remember the name of the guy, but basically he was into like this same sort of radical, like Christian fundamentalist. And basically, he went to, I think it was Oral Roberts Bible School. And basically, he was just fixated on this tribe. It happened a few years ago, guys. I think 2018 or something, in the Indian Ocean, and they hadn't been civilized with any humans. Okay, so they're very like, almost like, you know, from the Stone Ages. They don't kind of mix with the outside world. They don't mix with outside people. So anyway, this guy, all the people that had tried to go, that had been before, they had been unalived. So this guy had been told, if you go, this is what is going to happen. You're going to unalive. So anyway, the guy went to go and preach the gospel. I think the first time he went, they put at him, it missed. Then the second time he went, it went right through the heart. Done. So I think what they tried to do was sentence the guys that took him on the boat, because they weren't actually allowed to, you know, take him to the island. So they were looking at that. But I just thought to myself, wow, when we think about a group of people, like a tribe like that, when they say that they need to preach to the ends of the earth or whatever, when someone has actually tried to go there on several occasions, they've been unalive. So what happens in do you see where the spiritual psychosis and the cognitive dissonance comes into it? And he even did a video. He even did a video like saying to his family, if he goes, it's just a waste of life. It means when there are 12 people, 13 comes to stand in a position. Oh, Bob, you sound I don't know if you haven't noticed, they're all on here. They're on Instagram, ignoring them. The best, what, because now that I'm taking my medication and I'm able to like control my emotions and stuff now, like narcissists, the best thing you can do is ignore them. They absolutely hate to be ignored, because they need the supply. So what I realized was they were actually feeding into my energy. So I'm just you're not worth it. All right, babe. Okay. All right. So and look, this feeds in quite nicely to this one. deconstructing worthiness, shame, and divine punishment. All right. So it's just letting go of that. Like, leave it to the guys in there. Let them drain themselves of all the energy. Let them be drained. Let their energy be drained. Let them be siphoned. Let them be unhappy. Let them be the ones to marry and be in these celibate, lifeless, unalive marriages. This is why Bob's got all the time to be on YouTube chatting. Do you get what I'm saying? Because people who are really attracted and want to be with their spouse, they don't have time to be on the internet commenting. There's only 2 people on there, babe. It's concerning. So again, reclaiming intuition, voice, autonomy, having your own voice, having your own autonomy, being able to be yourself. Do you get it? So that's what it's about. And you know what, guys? I remember when, because I was at MESS when I came out of the cult. Honestly, I was dressed like all the first ladies and the PASTORSs, the WOGs. It was a mess. I just looked a mess. I didn't know how to do my hair. You know, I wasn't wearing makeup. They don't do anything to make themselves look good. You know, no nails. It's really basic, really, really basic stuff. Because, you know, like back in that day, they would take them scriptures on like in real life, like, do not adorn yourself with pearls and this and that. Like now, I mean, you know, I just give them that scripture and it silences them, because it's like, babe, you've got on caked makeup, you've got on you've got on this wig, you've got on all of this jewelry, you've got piercing, you've got loads of stuff going on, you've got so much stuff going on. And it's like, you know, how do you explain that scripture then if you're claiming to be a hard follower and you want to come and teach me something? You're going to have to firstly, you know, actually be embodying and personifying the scriptures for me to take you seriously. Because when I was in there for 10 years, I wasn't dressed like you, my love. All right. So, and it says here affirmations, but it might be just saying positive things to yourself. Because I know that some of you with certain words, you might think it's EVIL, because a lot of you will come out with paranoia, a lot of, do you know what I mean? Like kind of like very warped psychological views, and you know, your conceptualizations of the world and society as we know it would be extremely tainted with dogmatic, very black and white thinking, very us versus them. Because you've got to remember, like Soft Life was saying, we've been on this hamster wheel. You're running, but you're on the same spot, running over and over again, and then they're dangling this carrot, the promise of, you know, marriage, the promise of this guy, that never comes. He never comes. Like, it's like a few girls getting married, and the ones that are getting married, it's just, that's not who they would have married, yeah. But it's desperation. There's a lot more women in there, unfortunately, than men. And then my heart goes out to the men there, because they don't have a lot of selection. I'll keep it real. And they just have to, but the men, the thing is, the men have had to really like be realistic in this age, because if they're not realistic and just don't go for the pick-me's in these settings, they're never going to get married, they're never going to get a place, they're never going to get, you know, a lot of the time the girls making the same or more, because these are the guys that they're the only ones that will get married. Like a guy who's like making a lot of money, he's got his own things going, you've attracted something good in it, that's gonna contribute to your life, it's going to get you to level up, whatever. But when they're like getting with someone who's making less than them or the same, it just doesn't make any sense. But in there, they're like, oh, you come together, if one of you is making 50 grand, another one is making 50 grand, you come together, you got 100 grand, it's a blessing. And then they're bringing in and enforcing, you know, the gender inequality and hierarchy. The man should manage the account. Like up the live, guys, please. The man should be managing the money. The woman, you know, cooks and cleans and manages the household and cleaning and this and that. And the man could have absolutely no leadership skills. But because the woman has to be submissive and listen to pasta and whatever she listens, and then the man's led them into poverty. Since they've got married, they're still in the same council flat with the 3 kids in a 2-bedroom. So now they've got a triple bunk bed in one room, and then they're staying in another room. But you think that you have something to teach me and show me about. Ooh. I don't think so. All right, guys. And this is where I'm going to leave it tonight. I might come back later, but I just want to go and adorn myself a little bit, have a nice rose bath, just love on myself, light some lovely candles, just keep burning my incense, just have a nice time. I've got myself a little treat. So you might get me back on here. You lot might be able to like get into the vibe later. If I'm not too tired, I might come on just to like, like just to share the vibe, even if it's like for a little bit, like 10-20 minutes, because I'll see how I'm feeling if I'm not feeling too tired. But guys, I love y'all. Has anyone got any questions? You know what, I better just go on TikTok, because you know what, it's been a good run. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a good run. TikTok, love you. Let me just look off, because you know why? You know how they like to report me, but I'm healing. You haven't got me today. Love you, trolls. Bye, Insta. Oh, and if you hadn't noticed, you 304, I was ignoring you because I don't give narcissists my time now. You know what I'm saying? I don't give narcissists my time. And all you need to know is I'm 38 and I've had 2 kids, babe. So worry about yourself when you get there. All right, darling. All right, YouTube. Love you. Thanks for being on. I see that I have my obsessed fans here as per usual, right on time. I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. And I gave you my all. Now, baby, be mine. That's what it's giving. You always on time or whatever. You always the first one here and the last one here, baby. That's what I'm saying. Obsessed. Well, anyway, I'll blow you a kiss nonetheless.